Finally, we have Mr. Gavin Clarkson.
I'm Dr. Gavin Clarkson, and I was President Trump's Deputy Assistant Secretary for Policy and Economic Development until 7 months ago when I left the administration to enter the race for CD2. And I'm somewhat of an endangered species because I'm a Christian, conservative, pro-life, pro-gun, Republican college professor. As you can see on page 6 of your program, I have an MBA from Rice University, I have a law degree from the Harvard Law School, and I was the first tribal member to ever get a doctorate from the Harvard Business School. But don't think I'm some sort of fancy elitist, because to this day, I'm still the only doctoral graduate of the Harvard Business School that is also placed in a livestock show. I'm the only candidate in the race that's not a politician or a political operative, but yet I'm the only Trump official in the race. And my father was a 26-year Navy veteran, and he was the first American Indian to fly a jet. And like my father, I'm the only veteran in the race to take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States, not once, but twice. Once when I was inducted in the Navy 30 years ago, and once when President Trump thought enough of me to bring me up from New Mexico to go to work for him last year. And I listen to all these good folks, but I firmly believe that I am the only candidate in this race with the energy to empower New Mexico. So why did I decide to run? Well, I'm worried about 2008. If you remember in 2008, we put a weak candidate on the ballot for the open seat, and the Democrats flipped it. And there's millions of dollars sitting on the sidelines right now from radical leftists in San Francisco and New York City who are targeting this seat to flip it again. And if you remember, in 2008, when we lost this seat, we got Obamacare, we got Dodd-Frank, we got mandatory telework, and I'm running so that nobody in this room ever has to hear those nasty words, Speaker Pelosi, ever again. But this campaign is not about my running for a job. This campaign is about trying to create jobs for your children and your grandchildren and my teenage son and my students, because they can't get good private sector jobs in New Mexico. But let me paint you a different picture. Think of a New Mexico where we raise our children, we send them to school, we send them off to college, or we send them off to trade school. And by the way, I'm a big fan of the trade schools because we need people who can build and raise and fix and grow things. That creates a healthy economy. So imagine they go off to school, they come back, and they get a job here. And they raise their family here. And we all get to see our grandbabies play soccer and Little League on the weekends. So how do we get there? Well, I'm running on 3 E's for the land of enchantment: economic expansion, empowerment, and enforcement. I was President Trump's senior economic development strategist in the Department of Interior, and I'm the only candidate to release an economic development and expansion and energy expansion plan. That's a $2 billion stimulus for New Mexico, $40 billion stimulus nationwide, and unlike the Obamas, it doesn't cost the taxpayer a single dime. It was based on the Founding Fathers' principles, and Ronald Reagan said the same thing in 1983, that we should end dual taxation on job creators here in New Mexico and on the Indian reservations. And ladies and gentlemen, that's worth an extra 7 points in November. That was Congressman Pierce's strategy to reach out to Indian country. It's my strategy as well. I'm also running on empowerment. I'm the only school teacher in the race, and I'm the only candidate to call for concealed carry in the classroom, because the only way you stop a bad guy with a gun is with a good guy with a gun. I'm the only pro-lifer in the race with decades of experience running. I ran a crisis pregnancy center that had a message of empowering women to make the choice for life. Yo soy el único candidato que puede entregar el mismo mensaje en español. And that is worth an extra 10 points in November. I'm the only candidate with federal regulatory experience. I will fight the deep state, take back our thunder, and make sure that our farming and ranching families can feed their families. And I'm also running on enforcement. I'm the only candidate who lives inside the border exclusion zone, so we need to build the wall. I will enforce the border, build a high-tech wall, and enforce government accountability. I'm the only one who will plan to do so. The swamp is deep, the alligators bite. Fake news is really annoying, and I'm sure there's a little swamp creature putting fake news on your door. I'm Dr. Gavin Clarkson, and I'm asking for your vote. God bless you all.